Nothing is fair. Adult life is not fair. Workplace is not fair. People are sneaky, people maneuver. So if you're sitting there that, for me, I am the one to get this, you don't get it. People play you, and whenever you complain or what, people will come up with reasons why they gave it to the other person, not you. They will bypass you on a promotion, not because you don't deserve it. But other people negotiate. So you see, when you look at the most brilliant people at university, they're not the ones in charge of things. They're not the ones in promotion. The people we thought were very weak in school. Now these are people who have always known how to negotiate, how to navigate, how to do this to get what me I get so easily.
Someone who might not be so aggressive like you, how does this person learn the skills of negotiation and fighting for space?
Okay, there are things that can be learned. Even me, there are things I've had to learn. Now, one of the things I've learned about fighting and also being in activism, like I'm the last immediate past chair of Uganda Media Women's Association. I'm also very active in civil society. One thing I learned is knowing the legal provisions. It depends on what you're fighting for. So sometimes we just make noise around for a promotion, for a salary increment. On what basis? People beat us because they are aware about the law. It is very easy for women to join the job market, but they're the first to quit. In journalism, you can see when you come to a mass comm class, most of the students we teach are female. Why are they not in the newsroom? Because those realities of sexual exploitation manifest there. Sometimes in that environment of school, you're cushioned a bit. Maybe some people face it, some people don't. But the reality starts then when you start working. And who wants to sleep with you? Who is saying they're the ones behind your promotion?
It starts at internship.
Yes, I started experiencing it then. So it was so easy for me to start working compared to my male colleagues, because men had nothing to offer apart from their skill. And most people in charge were men. They just want to sleep with you. You want a promotion, you sleep. And me, I was like, I'll never sleep for a job. So then you realize, so you leave that job, go to another one. Within a short time again, you find there is that. Some people are very obvious, others are subtle. Yes. So yes.
The worst thing in our society today is someone who thinks that honest and hard work will never pay off. Today I'm with someone who is very exemplary and can tell you that exactly honest and hard work pays off. And that is Dr. Patricia Kevin LITHO. Why is Kevin silent?
Well, I don't know, but actually that's a name given to me by my mom. My mom is Kevin. Like the masculine type of spelling, K-E-V-I-N. Mine has an E at the end. You know, when you're growing up, when people give themselves certain names, Pato, what? So in that phase, I had an attraction to French. So I said, I want my name to sound Kevin. Because, you know, I went to a Catholic school. And Suwe, Kokonjero, Mount St. Mary, Stella Maris, and Suwe, Kokonjero.
Stella Maris.
And Suwe, in Mukono. They are there deep in the forest. And the nuns used to call me Kevin. I just couldn't deal with that. So I said, I must put an E accent with an hyphen. I just failed to find that hyphen in our keyboard. So I introduced the E at the end of my name. So that it is Kevin. Kevin, you can't say na. I was avoiding Kevin. It sounded so terrible to me.
So did you finally use the hyphen? Or you avoided it totally?
I eventually got rid of it because I failed to find on the keyboard how to use the hyphen. So when I officially registered for my PLE, I just put the E. Because also the teacher was like, but what is this thing on top of the E? You know, sometimes the Ugandan education, at least when I went to school, when the teacher didn't know something, then it didn't exist or it is wrong. But of course, as we get exposure, we've come across so many languages that have hyphens. And even these days, keyboards have those hyphens. A with a hyphen, you can find it. But at that time, yes, And they argued about that, and I told them, no, I am named after my mom, and she's Kevin. But my moms didn't have the E, but I had to sail through. So yeah, but I don't know, for some reason people either call me Patricia, and then I think from around S2 I got into this phase of Pan-Africanism. So I refused to be called by a Christian name. I didn't want to be called Patricia. Those who attempted to call me Kevin, I didn't respond. Like, I'd literally ignore you. Then when you say LITHO, I would respond.
Okay.
So a lot of people I went to school with up to university called me LITHO. When I hear someone say LITHO, I know we go a long way. But you see, also as we grow old, we become more tolerant, we adjust. Then I started being more tolerant to Patricia. Yeah, but Kevin, I think there are 3-4 people in this world who call me Kevin. Yes, and I respond, it's my name, but that's why it's silent.
Okay.
And somehow, to avoid that Kevin nothing, because some people still insisted on calling me that, the older people, especially Catholic old people. So I started abbreviating it, Patricia K. LITHO. So that the K remains there silent, and people always wonder, what is this? But it's my name. I'm Patricia Kevin LITHO, named after my mom. My mom is Kevin.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, thank you very much. So I am with Dr. Patricia Kevin, or Dr. Patricia K. LITHO. Before we go in further, could you just say hello to the viewers?
Hello viewers, how are you? I am happy to be here, but also flattered to have been chosen to speak to you. Sometimes you go about your life,
I know,
and you're not sure what the perspective is. Maybe quickly about myself, I brand myself as an activist. Some people call it feminism, but as an African woman, in feminism, I don't want to be called a feminist. I want to be called an activist. I stand for social justice, for fairness. But I also stand for things that a lot of feminists don't stand with, which I embedded in my culture. And also sometimes you think you're not very cultural, but we are products of our environment. I can't run away from my tribe, my culture, the homes I grew in, the schools I went to. And then with time you realize, oh, actually I don't mind this. So I always knew I wanted 2 children and no husband. And I remember one of my lecturers says, no, that's a very horrible way of thinking. It's not Christian.
Who was that
Christian?
lecturer?
Oh, she's called Barbara Musoke. She taught me journalism at UMI, Uganda Management Institute. We became friends along the way. She relocated to the US. She's one of those earlier journalists who had actually done journalism at school. The older people, like when I joined, my first place of work was Radio Uganda, by the way. And a lot of the journalists had sort of, because you have a radio voice, as they used to tell us, or a broadcast voice. You can read your local language. So they looked for those skills. And then later on, the emphasis when they brought about the Jews and what, it was such a scandal, and people were furious when they required people to have a degree. Now, I'm one of those few people, maybe second, third cohort, that had left university with a degree to come into journalism. And there's always this conflict. But Barbara had, I think, been in the first or second cohort in Makerere of a mass communication student, and then I think she went to the American University, I think in Egypt or somewhere like that. I remember learned broadcasting. She's one of the pioneer broadcasters in Sanyu TV those days and things like that. Yes. So somehow we used to chat about activism things. And what we don't like about what men do to women, what we like, what we tolerate. I mean, I'm like, because I don't want to be subjugated to some of those things. Me, I want kids, but I don't want a husband. I'm very close to my dad. I think my dad is my best friend. Of course, we have fights and things like that, but it's a polygamous family. And I used to tell him, you're the best dad in the world. Even now we have those arguments, but you're the worst husband. Because I didn't like the polygamy bit of it because of course, a mother is a mother. The things she complains about, the things she's unhappy about, because of that polygamous arrangement. I know she's the first wife. So how she said, she had a lovely relationship, what people used to admire her, he used to call her honey. Actually, It took me a long time to learn my mom's actual name. We all called her Honey because my dad always called her Honey. Very romantic. But along the way, Honey became Mommy. That's what my mom always says. And other women came in, other kids came in. But we all grew up together as kids, which was nice. So in my family, you won't even know who is the step sibling. I think most of us look more like my dad, so we look alike. Some of my siblings who look more like me are actually my step siblings. So that's how we grew up. We're actually over 22.
Oh,
yes.
Wow, that's great.
2 football teams and reserve.
In reserves,
Yes,
including
yes.
the coach.
Yes, the coach was very active. Yes, so that is why I didn't want a husband. I liked the idea of having children, but it also affected my attitude towards the number of children because there were so many in the house. You compete for resources. What, of course, he was fairly okay. He could manage and afford and take us to good schools. But there's always competition for something when you're many. But it was also fun. You know, you become a choir, you sing, you dance, you do it together. But also the fights can be quite horrible. When there's a divide, whether the majority decide, oh, you're alone against 21 or things like that. Who's supporting mommy on this? Who's supporting dad on this? And because I'm very close to my father, even when he was in the wrong, people thought I supported him, but I actually don't. I'm a very objective person, but I also avoid embarrassing people older than me, something I learned somewhere along the way. So my father, because he's my very close friend, I speak to him. But in the public, I'll defend him with my life.
Okay.
Yes? But on the side, I'll tell him, Daddy, actually, you're wrong on this one. Mommy's right on this one.
Wow.
As a husband, you should. Yeah. We have those tough conversations, and sometimes, okay, I want to go to bed. I don't want to talk about it again. Or the next day, and then he has this thing of like, because for me, I speak my mind. If I decide I'm speaking about this, whether you're in authority, my boss, I will tell you. Yes, you're my boss, I'll do what you want, but I have reservations, and these are my reservations, and these are my reasons. So that's how I relate with my father. And my mom sometimes finds it hard to understand me. But I actually stand for women. My mom is, I think, 76. My dad made 80 last year in October, and we had this grand function for him of 80 years, and I was passionate about it. And you know, being from communication, people are thinking of all the different gifts to give him, but what do you give an old man who seems to have everything? He's had his house, he's had his cars, he still has that, he has 1 million children. I decided that let me use my talent to give back, say something to my dad. So I actually produced a book, Okelo at 80, and I interviewed my siblings, and each one shared the worst memories, the best memories, what they like about their dad and things like that. I also interviewed my mother. Of course, I didn't interview the other women for obvious reasons, but I know they are there. Yes.
You published the book?
No, I didn't publish it. It was my gift.
It was
so
your
I
gift
presented
to him.
it. And you know, when I was hustling my siblings for photos, they wondered why. I wanted 3 kinds of photos. A photo when, any photo of yours that you like, a photo when you graduated. You see, those are the milestones that parents look out for. So I wanted when people were young, when they graduated, and when they got married. Now, in my family, I think all of us have graduated. That's so great. I was asking everyone, apart from, we have very young ones, by the way, who I think about 7. Okay, those ones haven't graduated. But, so I was looking for a photo of you, either professionally. So I would capture, you know, we have doctors, we have pilots. So, and one of the beautiful memories, my brother who is a pilot one day surprised my dad when he was driving a chartered plane and literally put him in the plane. And my dad's dream, the way my brother became a pilot, my dad's dream had always been to be a pilot. He actually did a bit of aeronautic engineering, but that's another whole long story. I don't know if I should tell it.